In the past, the acorns of oak shrubs and oak trees were a staple of life, but in modern times they've been replaced by more preferable foods. Acorns are the fruit structures of oaks, and only oaks produce them, so the presence of acorns is a sure sign of oaks. But what exactly does an acorn look like, and is there anything poisonous that we might confuse them with? Well, in Michigan, there's nothing poisonous that looks like an acorn, and an acorn will always contain one seed surrounded by a thin shell that's loosely positioned within a cup-like structure called an involucre. Also, an acorn will never split open at maturity, so if you ever find a nut-like fruit that splits open at maturity or contains more than one seed, then it's definitely not an acorn. All oaks produce edible acorns, but the acorns need to be processed. To process them, I would suggest making acorn flour, and this is done by cracking the shells and picking out the nut meat, pounding the nut meat into a coarse meal, boiling the meal to remove the tannins, toasting the meal to bring out its nutty flavor, and then grinding the meal into flour. Acorn flour is a versatile, nutritious, ready-to-eat food that can be stored for several months. And based on my experiences, I would say that it tastes very similar to hazelnut flour. Of course, if you've never had hazelnut flour, well, that tastes like acorn flour. And hopefully that clarifies things. As for the task of harvesting acorns, the oaks make that easy for us by conveniently dropping them, so there's no need to climb the trees. The acorns will come to us when they're ready, and they can be harvested off the ground for quite a while after they've fallen. Oaks are a dominant part of the landscape across the Northern Hemisphere, and they're well adapted to a variety of climates. Almost anywhere you go in the Northern Hemisphere, including just about everywhere in Michigan, you'll find oaks.